Omnipotent denial of the existence of the bad object and of the painful situation is in the unconscious equal to annihilation by the destructive impulse. It is, however, not only a situation and an object that are denied and annihilated. Therefore, a part of the ego from which the feelings towards the object emanate is denied and annihilated as well. Melanie Klein, 1946, from Notes on Some Schizoid Mechanisms. The omnipotent denial of the bad object. Melanie Klein wrote those words, and although MPIT is structurally grounded in Fairbairn's object relations model, we pause here to honour her. Because what Klein named We Now Live, she was the first to say it, that when we are hurt by those we love, especially in childhood, the mind does not simply adapt, it fractures. It cannot accept that the same object, the same mother, father, or partner, is both a source of love and pain, so it splits. It denies not just the other, but parts of the self. Klein called this the paranoid schizoid position, a state in which unbearable psychic contradiction is resolved through splitting. The good is clung to, the bad is obliterated. But this obliteration comes at a cost. The omnipotent denial of the bad object doesn't just delete the pain, it annihilates the part of the ego that felt it. The self becomes fragmented, recursive, haunted, and this is the precise terrain of narcissistic collapse. After discard, the survivor is not merely heartbroken, they are psychically inverted. They cannot grieve because to do so would mean acknowledging that the love they believed in was contaminated from the start. So instead, they split the self. Some parts scream, others shut down. They hear the voices, the narcissist's contempt, their parents' shame, their own inner critic, all looping and all fighting for control. This is not madness. This is structural trauma, exactly what Klein described, a symbolic implosion into contradiction, fragmentation, and regression. The survivor does not yet possess adult coherence. They are caught in a pre-verbal hall of mirrors, rotating between annihilation and hope. Their libidinal system remains fused to an idealized object, while their anti-libidinal system attacks the self that clung to it. The internal war begins. But Klein also pointed to a forward path. She described movement from the paranoid schizoid position to the depressive position, a maturation of the psyche in which the split can be healed, where good and bad can coexist in the same object, and therefore within the self. In MPIT, we call this symbolic reassembly. It is at the heart of healing, not just understanding what happened, but re-owning the parts of the self that were cast out to survive it. The mute child, the grieving adult, the anger that could not speak, the truth that was never named. To recover is not to deny the bad object again, but to hold it in mind without becoming it. That is what Klein taught us, and that is why MPIT enshrines her, not as a footnote, but as a threshold, because the journey from collapse to coherence begins with her words, the omnipotent denial of the bad object, and it ends with the return of the self.